Okay. Um, we're live now. I'd like to welcome all our viewers, all the people that are joining us today, and the people that are going to be joining us today. I mean, I just started this and I remember I was to alert someone, but it's okay. And so everyone is welcome today to Life and Relationship Realities. Today we're going to be answering questions. It's question time today. I want to commend first all Nigerians that went out to vote. Some couldn't vote and some had to go through some form of hardship or the other. I want to commend you so much. And for people that couldn't vote but probably prayed along, I also want to commend you. I want to thank everyone for all that we're doing to make our nation greater than what it is right now. I know that the Lord will reward every labor, and at the end of the day, Nigeria will be better for it and Nigeria will be great. So irrespective of anything, we're all gonna laugh last. Thank God for that. So I want to welcome my host to my co-host today, um, Aishat Oyeshile. You can see the name already. She's gonna be taking over more like anchor to this program. So Aishat, over to you.
Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Pastor, again, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited for this. We have another session of Q&A. I just want to mention that please share this. As we always say, this message could be a blessing to so many people. Also, feel free to comment any questions at any point during this live, and we will be more than happy to answer them. But we're going to start off with a few questions that have been sent in previously. This month, we talked about Valentine's Day. It was all about love. We were able to just talk about a few things. We had last week's message was about loving myself. Pastor Tolu had a great message, and inspired a lot of people on how they can love their self. So we're going to start off with the questions now. Again, I mentioned feel free to ask the questions in the comment as we go along. I will be checking those out and we'll make sure that we get those answered. So, Pastor Tolu, if you are ready, the first question is, my husband studies in Germany while I live in Africa with our children. We're dealing with infidelity in our marriages as my husband continues his cheating habit in Germany. What can I do?
It's so someone talked to me this over this weekend. By the way, my sister-in-law turned 50. A shout out to Mrs. Bola Sholanke in Denver, Colorado for our 50th birthday. It's a great season of jubilee for you. And so during the festivity, the birthday celebration and all of that, someone asked me a question, that is so connected with what you're asking today. And the person said, what is the problem with men cheating? I said it's becoming more and more these days about men cheating. And the thing is, and he felt that, oh, maybe they're not having good marriage, the wives are not doing the right thing, and so on. And I said something to him that will probably may answer the person asking this question. I said, infidelity most times is not as a result of anything physical. Most times is a state of the mind. Is a state of the mind. Some people actually believe that is the normal thing a man should have, and I've had people tell me like, oh, you don't eat a particular food all the time, you have varieties. And I look at the mindset of such an individual, and one person had actually mentioned that, and I told him, I said, if your wife feels that she shouldn't eat a particular food all the time, she need balanced diet in sex, how are you gonna take that? And he went on like, oh, no, that she's a woman, she cannot do that. And I said, no, There is no scripture, there is no law, whether scriptural law, whether physical law, that says that a man is approved of infidelity or not, even in cultures or in tradition, not tradition really, like in religion that permits more than one wife. It said wife, you can marry up to 4 wives, not concubines, not going out for extramarital affair. And of course, the condition I was even given in that religion is that as long as you can love both of them equally. So almost not really giving room, because there's nobody that can actually say, I can love my 2 wives or 3 wives equally. But let's move to the question that this person is asking. I remember we started February by talking about long distance relationship, and the person is saying the husband lives in Germany. So probably both of them have decided to say the husband should go study in Germany. And I feel that that man should first commend his wife, because there are a lot of women that will not allow such a situation, because it's going to tell financially on the family and so many things. Even if the man is providing for the family or is earning money in Germany and is sending all, to be a single parent, it's a very, very difficult thing. I can tell you that from experience. It's a difficult thing. Even though, yeah, the money, no matter what it's going to send, the money can't take care of everything. But even if the money take care of everything, there are more important things than the money. That woman is going to be running around, take children to school, take them for sport, do this, trying to figure out what to do today, what to do tomorrow, and everything. We can say, okay, maybe it's easier in Nigeria, they have helps. But the thing is the same. It's not really a conducive situation. So if that woman, your wife, is bearing that sacrifice, and then you don't think you need to bear the sacrifice of keeping yourself and keeping the marriage, then it's a problem. I always say something: every marriage can work if the two that are in the marriage are willing to work at it. And so I would say to that woman, sometimes there is nothing much to do. You want to leave the marriage, that will be the easiest thing to do. But what is your stand and conviction about that? For me, marriage is a covenant. It's going to be your choice at the end of the day. For me, marriage is a covenant that is just not something you can just break at will. No. Is it fair what you're going through? No. And I want to say something. Please be sure, and be sure that you're not suspecting things. You're not feeling, oh, where are you today? Or maybe it's having homework with the class, and then maybe the time difference in Africa, we don't know if you're in Nigeria, maybe you have more time with yourself. We don't know if you're working or not. And so if he's busy, it can become a problem that you begin to feel, or maybe he's dating someone. Because for you to make such accusation, you need to be very, very sure. A lot of accusations have destroyed meaningful relationships. And so I would say to you as a woman, too, in as much as that is not easy, but as women, sometimes there are times when you just focus on what you want to focus on. Focus on your children, focus on yourself. Focus on being a better person, and don't get involved in fighting. That's not right. One of the things we say for people that are in long distance relationship, avoid a lot of quarrel and misunderstanding. It wouldn't be wise to go to sleep when you are thousands of miles apart. You give room for the devil with that. So I would say to that woman, please talk with this guy. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I've seen. How do we work it out? If the guy can come home, so that you don't, because if he's studying, he's probably be able to work as well. If he wants to pay for the fees for the school, he may not have the opportunity to buy ticket to regularly come home. If it's something that you can visit also as a wife, visit. But the truth is that people that wants to cheat, even if the wife is giving him sex 7 days a week, it will still go out because it's the mindset. Is a mindset. I tell people, don't give excuse for wrong thing. It's better to plead for mercy than giving excuses. Oh, my wife does not give me sex enough. Oh, this does not do it. Oh, because of this. Oh, because of the. I said something to people. If every one of us give excuse, all of us will either be armed robbers or sex worker, or because we all have our excuses. But you don't live by those excuses. You live by what is right. So that woman, I want to say to you, some situation is even the woman. Is the woman in another country. I've had to deal with such a situation about people in this country, in America, in some places, that their husbands are not there and they're busy sleeping around. That is not right. That is evil. You can keep yourself. It's a mindset. When you're a Christian, the power of God comes, is made available for you. That does not mean you will not be tempted. No, yeah, you will be tempted. You're a human being. The Bible says we will have temptation. If you are falling from that in that temptation, ask God for mercy and keep moving forward and not go back to it. Because the truth is that there are things that is destructive when you break the vow. There are certain repercussions, even spiritually, that comes into play. So I want to say to that woman, please, fighting is not going to solve that issue. No, I don't even believe in fighting, you're exchanging words. No, there are better ways to deal with issues. Focus on your life. Focus on your children, because you never know. There are people that they have even brought one girl here, one boy here, and then there will be elders that will come into your home if you're a Nigerian, and they start giving some proverbs, that I think that God is even angry with himself, like, oh, somebody's thing cannot become two, and the person is angry, like all of those things that are maybe sometimes from the pit of hell. But whatever it is, I want to say to that woman, be at peace. Be at peace. How you respond to situation matters. Be at peace. Focus on your life. Focus on what you want to achieve. Focus on your children. And in case you are the one that is financing that and the pain is more, I want to pray. The Bible says wisdom is profitable to direct. I want to pray for God's wisdom to direct you, but please do not have issues based on assumption. Thank you.
I wanted to ask, like, for men that are out there, or women even, because women can do it as well, what are some things that they can use to build their mind to avoid those kind of actions? I'm sure it connects in some way, maybe things from their childhood or things like that they may have developed over time, and now it's become a problem they can't control. So what are some things that can help them to develop that characteristic to avoid those sort of issues?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aisha. One of the things for me, I'm going to start with my experience. One of the things for me is when I was single and then I had relationship, sex, and all of that as a Christian. And I remember when I knew that I needed to focus on God and I didn't want to have that lifestyle. One of the things I did, I started praying. I started praying to God to take away such desire from me till I got married. I started praying that. And God saw the sincerity of my heart. Truly, God took away that. So even when I find myself in a similar situation later in my life, not later, like much, much later, I decide to go on the same thing. God, take this. And I focus on things. I'm going to talk about the issue of sex more one of these days. There are medical issues to certain things. When somebody begin to have that feel like you want to have sex, you can actually, at that point, your brain is very active. You can turn that to productivity of your mind. So those things are there. But the thing that you can also do, move away from certain things. Your partner is not there, and every day you're looking at all pornography and all of these things. You are going to all the nightclub where you see all kind of girls, all kind of men, all kind of people. You cannot surround yourself with that, with such atmosphere, and then be praying. It's like a man is there, you are praying, oh, you are praying, and there's a naked woman in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually the voice of your prayer will start going down.
Mm-hmm.
So you avoid it. I tell women that are in a place their husbands are not there for whatever reason, they're still working on immigration and so on like that. What do you do? Even as such a woman, be careful of people that comes around. Oh, I'm going to help you take your child to school. They take the child to school today. They send the children's sports tomorrow. They are already playing husbands. Naturally, your mind begins to appreciate that person. Like, oh, he's so cool. Oh, he's so kind. He's always, and you begin to, if you're not careful, unconsciously, you begin to weigh that person with your husband. That, oh, even when he was around, what will he even do? He will not even do that anyway. Before you know it, because people sometimes say that, oh, it just happened by accident. Sex does not happen by accident. Sex is a process. That's why it cannot happen on the street. That's why it cannot happen inside the church when people are still fellowshipping. So it is not something you have to. At least do what you can do and leave what you can do with God. Do what you can do. You are every day. There's a sister. You are the one sister. Are you going to church? We're in the same place, and the brother is taking this. If your husband is not there, don't be Father Christmas. Don't keep carrying the girl to the distance. Oh, I'm just doing good. The Bible said, love your neighbor as yourself. It wasn't talking to you. That scripture is not talking to you at that point. So avoid your environment. Be careful of friends that are around you. If you can't handle it, when they say couples meeting, you are not a couple at that point. You may not need to go there if you can't handle it. But the truth is that some of us, our mind just zip up things like that. And we focus on one matter, and you begin to think about the implication of what that can mean. Beautiful marriages have been destroyed by that. Beautiful relationships have been destroyed by that. You don't want to, if you're in Nigeria, you understand what they're saying. You don't want to forfeit a good meal because of small chops. You don't want to do that.
Powerful, powerful. Again, we want to mention, share this as you're watching, comment questions. This message will definitely be a blessing to some people out there. Our next question is, my wife is a strong woman and highly industrious. She contributes more to the family, but I find myself fighting her a lot out of my own insecurities. I'm not a bad man. I love her a lot. How can I control myself?
Okay, I want to commend the man, because for you to even be able to put yourself out to ask this question, you're a good man already. And I want to commend that man. If the man is watching or is going to watch, I want to commend the man that has said that. Admitting that your wife is a strong woman is very good. We all have different temperaments. We all have different ways, personality. And so there are people, I've talked about temperament, the 5 major temperament. I've talked about, especially people that are choleric, they are born leaders. When a woman is a choleric, is a born leader. The good side of it is that they help to organize things, they help to make things work, they help to move things forward. But the flip side of it is that they become commanding. Hitler and all of those people that were destructive to humanity and so on, a lot of them have the choleric nature in them. That's the flip side of it. And so when you marry such a woman, number one, if a choleric marry a choleric, they will argue a lot, because everybody wants to say that they know and they're a leader. So, but if you marry this man now that married that woman and she's contributing a lot, yeah, a choleric wants to do and so on. I will say something that Michelle Obama said. It said in a marriage, sometimes you don't call for 50-50. You don't call for 50-50 contribution. We're not even talking about money now. Let's leave out money. And you contribute, sometimes the woman contribute more, sometimes the man contribute more. Sometimes it depends on your personality. Some people are doing things. Sometimes my husband will say, oh, you are naturally kind. And then I was like, no, I'm not. It's not just about being naturally kind. We all have to learn to do certain things. But what he's saying is true. There are things that we naturally do. Like when I see someone that needs help, whether my husband, whether my children, whether my natural nature is, I want to quickly get into that. So but the balance of it is with my husband, because if I'm that kind of a person now and I always want to do that, then the family won't be balanced. Sometimes my husband will say, one day you're going to give all of us out. So if you don't, but is a good balance in the relationship. So sometimes you have to know that you marry a woman that is strong. That does not make you weak as a man. No. Maturity is what is needed in a relationship. Leadership is about maturity. We're talking recently about Nigerians' election and so on. Already you begin to see leadership. I'm asking myself, I say, some people are behaving terribly. How do you behave terribly and you want to lead? So leadership is not force. Leadership is maturity. I read somewhere a quote. It said, leadership is when you know when to keep quiet and when to speak. I want to say to that man that married his wife, see, if you stop the woman from being what she ought to be, you are robbing your family of the blessing that you ought to have. And the other way around too. Some women, because of insecurity, they can't allow their husband to move to be who he wants to be. If you stop that, you stop the flow of the blessing that should come, because that means that that person is supposed to bring more to the family. And so if you deny that, you have denied much. When I got married, I've shared it, I was trying to do everything to bring myself so low, so low, so low. My husband, thank you, sir, this. I would kneel down on my 2 knees. I would do all of that. I would do to try to bring myself low. But after years, I realized that this is not life. This is not me. It's good to humble yourself. It's good to respect your husband. It's good to do, but you don't need to reduce yourself for the other person. My husband didn't even demand that from me. But I was just feeling and seeing some things, and I felt that this is it. It's good to apply wisdom, yes. But don't reduce who you are, because the truth is that God did not create marriage for purpose. No, create marriage for anything. No, God created man for purpose first. Marriage is the thing that helps you to now can help you to fulfill more of purpose. So the reason why we're alive first is not to marry. No. When the Bible said it, God said that, and God created them, male, female created them. And verse 2, it said, and God created them, and he said to them, take dominion over the fish of the sea. Take dominion over things. There are purpose why you were born. So if that woman is strong because of God's purpose in her life, then you can't stop it. You cannot stop it. I know what it is to be strong in to be forceful in what God has called you to be, and to be married as a man. And there's a lot of contention that comes in it. And sometimes you have to learn to keep quiet. Sometimes I'll even tell my husband, should we stop the television program? Is that going to be okay? And some people are like, if you stop the television program, what happened? And one day asked me, so what happened if I say stop the television program? I said, when I stop the television program, you will have to report with God. I want to be at peace. And so I want to say to that man, please help your wife. Provide leadership rather than competing. How do you provide leadership? You deal with your insecurity first to start talking to yourself. God knows why he brought me into the life of this woman that is strong. She has a purpose. So you want to be giving her advice. You want to be helping her. You want to be driving her to that place. You want to do things that naturally command respect. Let me tell you, no matter how strong a woman is, we can be strong on the outside, but we're also human. And so you have that soft spot that you will honor any man, you will respect any man, as long as, because if the man keeps showing insecurity, you are putting yourself low the more for the woman to look at you like is insecure, is immature. And I want to say something to every woman that is count strong. The fact that you're a strong woman does not mean that you are the head of the family. No way. The Bible stated very clearly, wives, submit to your own husband. And I say to people, if you cannot submit to that man, don't marry him. Don't bother marry a man that you cannot submit under. And I know that people, if a man is rising up and beating the woman, then you can't say, oh, I'm still submitting. Please, they don't need to carry you from your husband's house to the grave. Please. You don't have to die. Submission is not subjugation. Submission means that you respect that man, you honor that man as the head of the family. But the Bible also said to man, wife, husband, honor your wife. When two people respect themselves, it may, we do a ministry, we talk about something in Aisha that, we say we're a team. I'm the president of the ministry. I don't carry my shoulder. No, we're a team. And we're ministering today because we're working as a team. We're doing television program because we're a team. I sit down to preach on television program. We have somebody that is recording. We have another person that is overseeing the whole thing. My job is as important as their job. So if we understand what leadership is about, we will know that as a man, you can marry a strong woman and you are still the head of the family. And you will still be able to lead your family confidently. Your wife is not going to give you that confidence. You have to build that confidence within yourself. Talk to yourself. Don't let tradition talk to you. Oh, I'm the head. You're supposed to be. Many people told my husband, oh, you are the head of this thing. Oh, you are supposed to be the one leading the family. And I told my husband, should I hand it over? My ministry is not just about pulpit. When I go to the marketplace, I'll minister to people. When I see people one-on-one, I'll minister to people. So I don't have to have the fellowship that we were having. I told him, I said, you take over. I said, you take it. He preached 2 weeks. After 2 Sundays, he called me. He said, sweetheart, I'm not the one that is called. You are the one that is called. Because the woman too that is strong is holding tight. Don't hold tight. If it's God that has put you where you are, be okay. But of course, if you're a strong woman and you're a medical doctor, then you don't tell your husband to come and do surgery so that there can be peace at home. So I want to say to that man, God is going to honor you for what you are doing for that woman. God will honor you. Find out what leadership is. Provide leadership in that marriage. And if your wife is proving stubborn, please go for counseling. And I want to say to women, please calm it down. You are not, there's nothing that we are that God did not make us. So don't think because you have more money, you want to control. No. And husband too, please don't be asking your wife, she's a strong woman, she's bringing all the money. You don't insist to say you want to control things. No, there have to be balance in the family. But women, please submit to your own husband.
Powerful. My next question was actually from the Valentine's special that you did on Valentine's Day. It says in your Valentine's special, there was a conversation about how pretending is common during the early stages of a relationship or meeting someone online. How can you know if someone is being genuine or if the person is pretending?
Okay, yeah. Some things I'm laughing because, I watched something on the news today and they were talking about this 4-year-old that is to vote, that actually casted votes in Nigeria.
Mm.
And they were asking one of the police chief, and he said, I want to indulge him. Maybe he doesn't understand what was on the video. Maybe he didn't even know, maybe he had not seen the video, because the reply that he made was just shocking to me. And he said, oh, you can never tell someone's age by physically seeing them. Even people that have genetic problem and they don't grow, even if they are really like short, their face, you can see that this is an adult. You know the difference between a 4-year-old child and an 18-year-old. In Nigeria, do you have to be 18 or 21? I think you have to be 21 to vote. If anybody knows what, you can please put it on the comment section. So the thing is, when people are in caution, they want to pretend a lot in relationship. Sometimes it's not about pretending. Sometimes it starts off with, you want to put your best foot forward. You want the other person to have good impression about you, but it becomes, and you don't want them to quickly, every one of us have our weaknesses. So you don't want to quickly project your weakness so that they don't get put off. Because sometimes if you truly project your weakness, the person is not also able to see the beauty in you. Your weakness may be 20% and then your good side may be 80%, which is a pass mark. But if you bring out your 20% first, they may be discouraged. And so sometimes genuinely, everybody wants to put their best foot forward. But talking about pretense, we're going to be talking about people that are very wicked, like people that needs to work on themselves. They're not working on themselves and they want to pretend to that woman. I'm going to give an example. When my husband and I were going through marriage counseling in church, there was also another couple that was going through marriage counseling. And one day we went for a midweek service and I went in first. I usually would take a seat for my fiance so that we can sit down together. So he came in, he was coming from work. He came in, he sat down. And I told him, I said, there's this one message was going on. So every pastor should know when message is going on. Sometimes there's a lot also going on with people talking. So I told him, I said, see that man, that's the husband to be of that lady. The lady was attending the church the guy came from. And I told my husband, I said, that man is not a sincere man. That man is not truthful. My husband said, hey, Tolu, you have started again. What do you mean that man is not? And I said, that man is not truthful. I said, I can see. I said, there's something in my spirit that is saying that man is not truthful. And my husband said, oh, but he looked good. I tried to talk to another pastor, and the pastor said, Pastor Louis, he looks gentle. I said, sometimes this group of people can be the most dangerous. Don't judge a book by its cover. I said, this man is not. I got so concerned that I even started talking. The lady, I was the leader of the single girl. So I was concerned. I even called the girl. And she said, oh, no, she's okay. Oh, sister, don't worry. It's okay. And I left it. I didn't go ahead to talk to the senior pastor of the church, who was my father in the Lord of blessed memory. And they got married. They got married almost the same month that we got married. And then 2 weeks after the wedding, they weren't coming to church. Our honeymoon was after the Thanksgiving on Sunday. We went for honeymoon and then we came back before the next Sunday, so we were attending. So everybody felt, oh, they were still doing honeymoon. 3 weeks, she didn't come back to church. Fourth week, she didn't come back to church. Then the story started showing. The man was actually an armed robber. And started beating her. There's no going to church. There's no, I mean, there were issues that at the end of the day, even the church was trying to see how to get the separation and a divorce. If not, that woman's life was in strict danger. Yes, they didn't do the divorce. They didn't speak out the divorce, but they were trying to see, no, sorry, the family. The family were trying to do that because the man, he threatened even to beat the mother-in-law up and everything. So what made this girl go into this? She didn't see that, but when she now decided that she was going to marry, the man had slapped her about on two occasions and so on. Why doing marriage counseling? So the truth is, how do you know? If you stay along, you will always know. The problem is that sometimes we overlook things that are very important. When I met my husband and he came about proposing, one of the things I told him, I said, let's talk about our weaknesses. I said, our strength won't be a problem. It's our weaknesses that will be a problem. Let's talk about it. Because sometimes you get shocked and some people say, oh, I didn't see that coming. The truth is that you saw it coming. You didn't interpret it well, or you decide to cover it and tell yourself, it's just a small thing. Oh, he just got angry. Oh, maybe I even made him angry. Maybe it was what I said. Abuse does not have excuse. Abuse is abuse. And so you can know when you get there are certain things I started asking my husband. I'll create a scenario while we were cutting. I wanted to know, can this man, does he understand the ministry that I'm doing and can he support? There were scenarios that I consciously created to see what his response was going to be like. So you can know if you really want to know. Some people you have to ask yourself, if I know if this guy is telling lies, do I still want to marry him or will I not marry him again? That's the point where people get scared. And they just feel that we'll work it out in marriage. But of course, you don't work anything out in marriage because it becomes more pronounced when you get into marriage.
I have a follow-up question actually. So when you're saying people put their best foot forward at the beginning of the relationship and things like that, I think that's a good intention to have throughout the relationship. But when it comes to how can you tell the difference between best foot forward and someone who may not know who they are, or someone who just wants to act like they're this perfect? I don't think there's any relationship that doesn't go through an issue. So I think those are some signs that can show that this is not sincere. So how can you tell the difference between
one of the things? Okay, so I'm still going to use myself. I have a lot of things because I counsel people, but I'm always like very careful to speak out some things because counseling is confidentiality. And that's why most times I bring myself if I've experienced something like that. My first relationship, I knew that I didn't know that the guy could get angry, to slap, to do all of those things. But you know what played out eventually? When I met him, it was party. I love to party then, we go to night party, we go to all of those things. And then we met at the night party. He wanted to dance with me. There were each songs, that just came. And definitely I'm not talking about Christian songs at this point, so, and I love to dance. And we just danced. My girlfriend, was dating someone in the house, his cousin. So that was how I went, and I met him and everything like that, and we danced all night, and we sat down, we talked. I liked him from the beginning. I saw that if the moment he saw me, was like, oh, this is it. But I like him. One of the things that I love about him first was truth. The number one core value for me in life is integrity. If I can trust you, if I can only trust you. And so I saw that with him. It was a big house, beautiful house, and the first thing he said to me, he said, I like you. He said, but I want to put it out for you. He said, this house is not my father's house. I live here, is my uncle's house. My father is very poor. He doesn't have money. My uncle is the one that has money and has this house. I just want you to know so that you don't think of me as coming from a rich family. Mine that was what swept me off my feet. Like a man that can be this sincere. And then I saw him not the next day, but that same week. That was our second time. That was the second time of meeting him when I started considering him in relationship. But the moment I saw him, one of the things that I have is a gift of revelation. Like I see things, God showed me things. I saw on his forehead that it was not going to progress, like someone in witchcraft had placed something on his forehead. And I told him, because I talk about the truth factor. So I told him, and he said, oh, no, this, because that night, the next day, he gave his life to Christ. And I was supposed to be a Christian at this point, but we're going to leave that for another day. So I saw that. So eventually, the abuse and everything came out from that same issue of the stamp that I saw. So I knew from the beginning what made me go into it. I felt that he was truthful and he maintained that throughout the almost 5 years in the relationship. He's a very, very sincere person. He's a person that would laugh. I used to say something that if they said that, oh, God forbid that the girl needs organ, he would have given before knowing. It was that kind. It was that loving. But abuse is abuse. If someone becomes abusive in your life, no matter how much they claim that they love you, they can destroy you in that abuse. And they will have destroyed you before they realize that, oh, and I love her and I shouldn't have done that. So you have the right to protect your life. So once you will always know. You will always know, except you are consumed by infatuation and you feel that that is love. But you will always know. You go out together. You should meet at different places. You shouldn't be meeting at each place alone. Try and meet at different places. Different situation will happen. If he's even quiet with you, maybe you go somewhere, somebody was being rude and so on. Watch the way he reacts to that person. You will always know. If you keep your eyes down, you will always know who that girl is. You will always know who that woman is. Sharma said, Pastor Tolu, thank you. Mrs. Akolade, Aisha's mom. I know that my sister, Buki Afolabi, also made comment. Thank you. Oh, the woman of God, Mrs. Bosher, Brother Isaac Joshua. Thank you so much. If you have questions too, please, you can give your question and please share the video like Aisha rightly said.
Yes. Let's see. There's a few questions here. Okay, the next one is, my girlfriend is always demanding and never gives. I keep giving to make the relationship work. I want to love myself, as you said. What if I lose?
Okay. The truth about true relationship before marriage is the only covenant. And I always say a broken relationship or broken engagement is better than a broken marriage. A broken marriage goes down with a whole lot of things. But a broken relationship, yeah, it's still going to hurt, but you will be saving your life and your future. And when you because being in a miserable marriage is more like maybe tasting what hell would look like. The thing is, we don't know what this guy mean by giving. The girl is always, the boy is the one that is always giving. But I've seen relationship where the girl is just sitting down. Is the guy that needs to show love, is the guy that needs to buy gifts, is the guy that needs to do everything. She's always demanding and she's not giving. Yes, the Bible says the man is the head of the family, but the woman also has things to give. Number one, you can't even go into marriage empty. Well, nobody's empty anyway. Even if you don't go with finances, you have wisdom in you, you have grace in you. The Bible says, he that finds a wife find a good thing and obtain favor of the Lord. So you are packed with God's favor, God's beauty. You have all the things, to take. But the thing is, I said something last week about loving me. You love yourself to love others. If you don't love yourself and treat yourself well, you don't have the capability of loving another person. The Bible said, love your neighbor as yourself. As you love yourself, so you love your neighbor. So it's not loving your neighbor, then love yourself. No.
Mm-hmm.
You need to love yourself, but loving you does not mean it's only about you, because that's what this girl is doing. She's loving herself only and wants to receive. I want to say to such men, start taking care of yourself also.
Mm-hmm.
Tell yourself you deserve good things. As a man, you want to get a phone, you can afford two phones, you want good phone. Fine, there are times when you don't even have that good, but you want to give the other person, it's still okay. You have a phone. So love yourself. If that girl is always demanding, then it's going to become a problem in the relationship. Isaac says so true. If you keep doing that and you don't think about yourself at all, one day that man is going to be so tired.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the trouble is going to come. So love yourself. Take yourself out. I used to do something, even in Nigeria then, when I now want to go buy food in the house, sometimes I'll get into the market, I'm dodging because people know Pastor Tolalabi. So sometimes I'm moving from another place to want to go to this other place to want to get. So I would have been so stressed shopping. And I shop for the month. Sometimes I do 3 months buying. But you know what? When I get into the car and all the things like this, sometimes I take myself to an eatery or to a restaurant. So I'll sit down there. The car is there. The things in the car are there. I'll sit down, order something, and eat and make myself. Because I have the temperament. Whatever I'm doing, I want to put my whole effort to it. So my marriage, I'm putting. My children, I'm putting. I want to put the effort. I'm not supposed to say this, but something happened lately on Valentine. One of my son brought a Valentine card. I mean, the Valentine card, I'm trying to describe how small the paper, and I'm going to do this tissue to say how small the paper. I'm not going to mention the son because my sons are wonderful boys, and I'm grateful to God for them. But the paper is like this. It's like this shape, and they draw the heart shape on it, and the back said, "Happy Valentine, Mom." And I was like, oh, cute, beautiful. Then that same day, the hub came and called me and said, you sent me a message and said, you have a package on Amazon. And I went and I picked this heavy package, like really long, like a big box. And I felt that, oh, maybe my son was going to, and I saw my son's name. Initially, I thought, oh, maybe a daughter sent it to me or something. And then I saw one of my son's name that have given me that paper, that piece of paper. And I saw the name and I thought that, oh, maybe my son was going to surprise me. Just to discover that that wasn't for me. That was for a friend. And that I don't know how to pretend with things, And so I was like, okay, so this gift now, what for? And my son said, oh, Mom, I bought it for my friend and everything. I said, oh, Valentine gift. He said, yes. You are looking, your mind is racing. You are the one providing food. You are the one providing clothes. You are the one sending to college. You are the one doing everything. It's normal. And I said, I got a piece of paper. And another person got a big box. The truth is, okay, yeah, if my son is married, is a different case. Oh, yeah, you have to love your wife first. That's your wife becomes your first priority. But then I told my son something. I said, do you know that on that Valentine's Day, because I needed to provide food, I couldn't go out to take myself out like what would have loved to do. And I learned something that day. Yeah, you're going to take care of your children. While taking care of your children, take care of yourself. I said it when I talked last week on this program. I said some women are looking 10 years, 20 years older than themselves. And the husband that you're doing everything is looking young.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually you are not going to be attracted to that person. The person is not now going to be looking at someone. While you're taking care of your husband, take care of yourself. While you're taking care of your wife, look after yourself. So you have to put a balance in it. A woman that is always like, oh, give me, my name is Jimmy. There is a problem with that. And a man too that is always demanding and demanding and demanding, there is a problem. There has to be balance in everything we do.
That actually, I was reading a book and it talks about how a glass that is completely full, you can still give half and still have something. But a glass that is half full, if you give out the whole thing, you have nothing left to give but the glass. So it's actually really powerful, because if you don't love yourself enough, you can only love as far as you have. You can't love your spouse so much to the point where you're loving themselves more. You can't love past what you have already. So it's actually really powerful that you mentioned that you have to love yourself first, just as much as you love your spouse. That's something that I see in my generation on social media. Women will always post things like, I need a man that's gonna decorate a hotel room for me. So on Valentine's Day, I'll walk into the hotel room, and in my mind, I'm just like, okay, that's nice, but what else are you gonna also bring on Valentine's Day that will make it good for both of you guys? So that was actually a powerful answer. Again, I want to say to share to those who are here, those who are watching, blessing to everyone who has not been able to see it. Please share this video. My question that I have personally is, I see that it's easy to love someone in the love language that you want to receive, but you're not necessarily loving them in the love language that they want to receive. How can you kind of work with that to where it's a balance? Because then those kind of things can cause frustration, to where you're loving this person with all you have and they're not appreciating it. And in your mind, you're like, I'm doing everything I can. Why is this person not appreciating it? But it's simply just, you're not loving them the way they want to love. So how is there a way to catch yourself to understand those kind of things?
Okay, knowledge is power. And one of the things that I think that couples should know, whether they're married or they're not married, is to learn to discover another person. Because we're talking about loving ourselves, but love is also sacrifice, so that sometimes you have to deny yourself for the other person to be happy. That's the balance there. And so knowing what makes that person happy is very important. Let's say for an instance, I'm going to use like two cars. Somebody likes this particular car. Maybe somebody like a Ford car, and another person likes Toyota car. And the wife wants a Ford car, but the husband likes Toyota car. And the husband is saying, oh, I'm going to give you a Toyota car as a gift. At that point, the husband is not giving the wife the gift, he's giving himself a gift. You understand? If the wife says to the husband, oh, I want to just make it special for you today, I want to treat you well today, and sex is the thing that is going to make that man feel great that day. And then you're saying that, oh, I'm going to make great food for you. I'm going to make this 3-course meal. I'm going to add extra spice to it. I'm going to present the food so well. And at the end of the day, you have not given that man a gift. You have given yourself a gift. So understanding what makes that person happy. We're different. The way we do our things is different. Let me take for an instance, when I got married, and I've talked about marriage gift and everything. So when I got married, I put shirts, packet shirts, like 5. I put it. I wanted to give my husband. I have it packed and wrapped, and that was going to be my wedding gift because I knew that my husband needed that at that particular time. And so on my wedding day, but the truth is also I didn't really like discover what was it that I wanted at that particular time. So on my wedding day night, I gave him, don't want to say what happened, whether gift was given before, gift was given after, but eventually gift was given on the wedding night. And I gave my husband the gift, and he was really excited about it. I don't know if that was what he really wanted, but he was excited about it because he needed those good shirts. And he said something. He said, "Oh, these are 5 good shirts. Once I resume work, the first 1 week, they're going to know that I'm married. Like when I wear this shirt and everything, because I went higher than the taste and everything, and then when he brought out his gift for me, yes, I was excited. Yeah, I brought out some fake excitement, because I told him several times, but the truth is, I don't know how to pretend for long. So it kind of got the message that I wasn't so excited, but I didn't show it that day. I needed to show that day, I needed both of us to be happy. And so later on he said, "Oh, but he gave me that gift in good faith. This is a woman of God. I'm married to a minister of the gospel. So he gave me Bible on tape." Which he had good intention. But I didn't even talk completely for even that whole year. It was our anniversary that he did, and I think he gave me, set of cooking spoons and everything. And that was when I had to speak. I say, Oga, please don't give me gift that is for everybody. Give me a personalized gift. He didn't even see it as anything. And then that was when I brought up lovingly with laughter, brought up the gift. I said, "Did you notice that immediately after we got married, you gave me that gift, but you were the first to quickly put that tape on and everything?" They said, "Yeah, but because you're a woman of God." I said, "Because you also wanted tape." And we started laughing about it. So what does that person want? And you see, even when my husband bought this, I felt that I was going to like it. Some people will keep quiet and will never say lovingly, while some people will even get angry and say, "What kind of gift did you give me?" No, the person have taken some form of effort. So that effort, you need to commend that effort. Whether it's good enough, whether it's not good enough, whether it's little, whether it's 1% of 1%, you should commend the effort of the other person. So for me, I commended that effort that time. And then later on, find a way. And he said, "Oh, sometimes I don't really know like what you like." I said, "Take me to a store and tell me to pick. You should know me. I will not pick something that you can't afford." I said, "Better still give me the card. Let's go. I'll buy something that I really want to buy." And he got it eventually. He even talked to my friend and say, "Oh, can you buy something for my wife? What would she like?" That's another good one. So you need to understand, appreciate one another, and then understand that person's love language and do that person, except when you are not in position to do it. Like we talk about Ford and Toyota car. If you cannot afford the Toyota car, can you make your spouse understand? And a Ford can say, "See, the Ford is more expensive. That is it. Do you want to wait a little longer so that you can have a delayed gift, and then I can give it to you?" And I want to plead with people, please don't judge on social media to judge your family. "Oh, this person gave the husband a car," and so you feel that some men will like, "Oh, those are women." You don't know what goes on inside. It's
Mm-hmm.
not what we see outside that we judge with. Brother Isaac said, no, Rose Gideon said, thanks, I really learned a lot. Brother Isaac said, sincere love the sincere love is about giving. When you give less of it, then it's not complete. The blessing of giving is when it's given totally and not partial. Yes, that's what we're saying. Give. And then the gift has to be given, has to be both sides. The woman is giving, the man is giving, and giving is endless, because love, the Bible says God loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, but also God loved himself, so God is love himself. Before God is giving that love out of the abundance of the heart, the man gives. So when love is not partial, like Brother Isaac said, then it's better when it's total, when it's not one-sided, it becomes something. We have said it, you can give anything. Giving is not all about money. You
Mm-hmm.
can give anything to appreciate one another.
Looks like, okay, yeah, that is all the questions I have for this session.
Aisha, I want to really appreciate you. Do you have a final thought that you want to say?
No, I'm grateful to be here. I'm thankful to God. I just want to encourage people that are young, that are around my age, to keep watching, and to keep learning, read books, and improving yourself is very important, very powerful. Like she's mentioned, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better it is. Get a mentor, have good friends around you, and just keep growing. Life is beautiful. So don't. I see a lot of my generation are discouraged right now. They're hurting. They're going through a lot of things, but there's hope in life. So hold on to God. Keep going. And Pastor, thank you so much for all that you do, for all of your words, for all the blessings. You are such a pillar in so many
Don't
people's
make me
lives.
cry.
Oh, God is going to, I can't, if I use my mouth to continue to thank God for you, I don't know if it would
Thank God.
end today, but I'm grateful, and God bless you. And thank you all for watching, and continue to watch. Tola Aldi Ministries is going to do great things. We're excited to be a blessing to so many people. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, Aisha. And I thank you so, so, so much. And I thank Ronald for giving you the opportunity. He's an amazing man. He's a man that is confident. He's a godly man. God bless him so much. And God bless you too. And I want to thank you for all that you're doing. All that you're doing. I want to thank God. And I want to thank God for all God is doing. What my life is today is God that turned my life around. And so every glory belongs to God. Every honor belongs to God. I am whom I am today only by the grace of God. And I'm so grateful for that. And God is raising giants too, like you, like other people. God is raising giant. I want to quickly say that we're having healing service on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be March 1st. We're having healing service. It's going to be online. You need someone that is needing a divine intervention or just want the blessing of God in the month of March. You want to join the healing service on Wednesday. Your life will not be the same again. Follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. There are wonderful messages on our YouTube. Just go on Tolu Alabi on YouTube. You will see amazing things there. You will receive hope. We talk about love, for Valentine. The message is there. Just go there at Tolu Alabi on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. God bless you, Mrs. Deaconess Akola Day. You said more knowledge in Jesus' name. Amen. You're a blessing to our youth. God bless you. God bless you, Matu. Thank you. Do you want to say something?
Yes, really quick. Our newsletter also comes out every first of every month. If you have subscribed, please make sure you go to your email and confirm your subscription so that you can receive all the newsletters. If you have not subscribed yet, the link will be posted so you can subscribe. We have great information. Become a partner, learn how to get involved with 12B Ministries. Again, thank you all for all your support, and Pastor Tola, again, God bless you. Thank you, guys.
And thank you, Aisha, for the newsletter that you're bringing up, for the ministry. God bless you. All right, everyone, bless you. Please share this video. And I want to say to Nigerian people, please let us not get into violence. Let's allow God be glorified in this election, because the truth is that the election is done. We're starting. I said to somebody some days ago, I said, this election is going to be like a drama that is unfolding till May 29th. This is not the end yet. Things are going to be, but at the end of the day, the people will rejoice. So let's be at peace and let's watch the way God plays out what he wants to play out. God bless you for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.